All right, so we are going to get right into this video here. So, what I'm going to detail here is, pretty much a dip entry strategy, either on breakouts or on flushes or retraces in price action here. So I wanted to record this video. So one, it's recorded for, let's say, future reference for those that I talk to moving forward. Just want to kind of get this updated. Hey, in case something should happen to me, at least this is kind of out there in the ether, and you guys can take advantage of it. So, wanted to cover a few bases here as it relates to stock charts, price action, support levels, and resistance levels, things of that nature, right? So, kind of drafted this chart here, right? So obviously we have, let's say this is a 1 minute time frame. We have some price action moving up, hitting, these red lines represent support and resistance levels. So let's say this first green candle here moves up, hits some resistance here at this level, retraces back to this support level, right? So in this instance, as an example, maybe that level right there would be a good buy area because it's coming back down to a support level that we could capture some price. So we can see the next minute candle comes back up to the previous resistance level, but on the next candle it breaks through that resistance level here. Okay, again, if you're watching the level 2 and you can take advantage of the price action in this area here, good to go. However, don't be so anxious if you miss out or if you don't know exactly where to get in on this move up. So what I'll be covering today is what you're going to look for on these big moves up to be able to get in and capture some profit here, right? And that essentially is what this first statement here is: buy the fear, right? So as this price action is moving up, right, you're going to have people that are selling their shares off because you don't know how high the stock price is going to move, right? So they're going to start dumping their shares, right? They're going to get scared and start selling off. Within this 1 minute time frame here, you're going to have dips in this price action, right? And a lot of times these dips might even come back to the support level. Okay, these are areas that you're going to want to jump in and buy, these retraces or these dips in price action during these breakouts, right? And again, let's say we're looking at a 1 minute time frame here. So as this price action moves up, right, it's not going to go all the way from 0 to 100 here and then stop, right? It's gonna jerk up and down, right? It's gonna extend and retrace. So what we're doing here is we're buying the fear. We're absorbing the fear that the other buyers have that have sold off, and we're waiting for this price to dip down, right? So we can soak up some shares for the move back up. And oftentimes what you'll see is a retest of support and resistance levels, like down here, right? We saw that first move up here. It hit that resistance level, came back down, and what did it do? It came back up and retested that level, right? So this is what we're working with here. Okay. So again, a lot of focus on the last couple of years for myself has been anticipating breakouts, right? So this is another strategy here where I'm not so much solely relying upon my ability to catch the breakout, like this spot right here. What I'm doing is I'm playing, the capture of shares on the retrace of this price action within that parabolic move up. Okay, so as this price moves up, right, it's going to fall back to certain points, right? You might get a 25-50% drop in price, right? That's where we're gonna swoop in, buy some shares, and take some profit on the move back up. Okay, so as we look at this example here, as the price continues to move up, right, we hit some more resistance up in this area. okay? And we have a pretty strong retrace in pricing, right? But where's the price retrace back to? It retraces back to this previous resistance level here, right? That the price broke through, okay? So this might be a good area to buy as well, right? For the move back up. Now, typically, if I'm buying in these kind of downward, trend scenarios where there's more than one or two candles, I'll go in with a smaller share size because I'm not exactly buying, buying the momentum. What do I want to say? In the moment, right? It's kind of it's kind of fallen into a pathway here. Now, would I have gotten in on this trade here if this price dropped down to here for the bounce back up? Certainly, right? But the second red candle here, I'm waiting for it to make a decision whether or not it wants to kind of change direction and go back up to the long side. Okay. And you also see what I have here is this diagonal line here, right? Because support and resistance levels aren't always just horizontal, right? They have angles to them. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to capture the bottoms of the lowest candles here to gauge where support level might be as this price action continues to move up, right? So let me just go over a few of these things here now that we got that brief discussion of the kind of the chart dynamic out of the way. So again, buy the fear, right? Dips in price during breakouts, right? People who have bought into the stock for the breakout are now getting scared because they don't know how far the price is going to go, and so they're selling their stocks off, right? They're selling their shares off. We're going to be in there to buy the stocks as they hit a decent low, maybe back to a support level, okay? And we're playing the pop back up in price, okay? We're also going to buy the drop, okay? Dips in price from retraces or flushes. Again, that's this area down here, right? We're buying these dips in price for the bounce back up as well, okay? We're never going to average down into a position. If the position doesn't work and the price doesn't start going the way we want it to right away, we're just cutting our loss and understanding that's part of the process, and we're moving on, right? We're waiting for the next setup or the next opportunity, okay? We're still going to continue to anticipate the breakouts and flushes, but we're not going to be so anxious to catch them, right? If we miss out, we know that, hey, if I missed out on this breakout right here, that even though I didn't catch this breakout at this level, there's going to be opportunities within this move for me to capture shares and profit on price retracing within this move here, okay? So again, we're not going to be, so anxious or, upset if we didn't buy the breakout, but we're going to certainly try to take advantage of some of the dip entries as this price is moving up. Okay, and we're always going to mark our support and resistance levels as the price action continues to unfold. Okay, so as soon as we hit a resistance level here, we're marking it on our chart, right? As soon as we hit a support level, we're marking it on our chart, and as soon as we see kind of an upward ascending trend line here, we're going to mark that as well, because those can be beneficial support levels as price action is moving up. Okay, so with that said, what we're going to do is we are going to jump into an example here. And I have a day loaded up in Thinkorswim on demand, so we can watch a couple stocks and just gauge the entries and exits based on this strategy here. So let me hide this thing here if I can figure out which one it was. Let's see here, monitor 2, so let's hide that. Oh, that's not the one I want. Where's it at? Main monitor? Nope. Well, I can't remember where I had this one at. Nope. Okay, there it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I have here is I have this isn't how my screen looks, but what I do is display capture. So you have really the 1 minute chart is expanded here, and I have the P&L with the share sizes and buy market, sell market buttons here. So it's a little more easily to see as we go through this example. Okay, so there's a few stocks here that we're going to keep an eye on here. So let me get over there. Bear with me 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be keeping an eye on CNSP and DRMA today, right? So obviously there's a little more that goes into this, right, prior to the market open, okay? So prior to the market open, there's some things that we're going to be looking for. We're going to be marking out levels, you know, making sure that before the market opens, we know what stocks are running. So we're keeping an eye on those. And I have another screen up above my main window here that I plug those symbols in, and I keep an eye on them. So let's go ahead and watch the DRMA kind of run here. Let me do this too, because I don't seem to have my other screen open for my purposes here. Let's see. Let me just get it up here so I can kind of keep an eye on things here. Okay, all right, now I'm going to enter DRMA. So I have a screen up top with 6 other windows because I plug these stocks in so I can kind of peek up and see what the movement is, so I don't have to keep switching my main monitor here from stock to stock, right? All right, so let's go ahead and watch DRMA, and the important level here is this orange line, which is volume weighted average. Typically I will not trade anything unless it's above this orange line, but in this case we know it's the market open. We could have a good push above this level here, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch. Okay, and Thinkorswim On Demand, they restrict you from placing any trades anyway for the first minute or two, which is probably a good thing because you can get caught in some pretty nasty flushes as orders are being executed as soon as the bell rings. All right, and a lot of this game here is just it's a waiting game. We're just waiting for the opportunities, and typically my visual kind of goes to big moves. I'm looking to either capture a big move or play the price action as soon as the big move takes place. So again, I'm not always, you know, aligned. I'm not always successful in getting in the move before it breaks out, but we certainly want to take advantage. So let's jump over to CNSP because we have a pretty good move up here. So this is what I'm talking about. See how it's moved up? Now watch the price action as it moves back down here, right? So we're waiting for that price action to kind of drop because we have a pretty good move up to the VWAP, right? So again, we don't know if it's going to break through, but what I want to do is I'm anticipating a drop in the price here, and that's where I want to swoop in and grab these shares here, okay? And if you can see the top of the wick, prior, that's kind of my resistance, that's kind of my support level. Now watch this. Now, as it drops maybe down here, we're going to try to take some advantage here. And again, I don't want to buy at the high price. I don't want to buy at the top here. I don't want to buy at the top and then have it, you know, flush on me just like it did right there, right? So I'm going to wait. And I want to see, I'm looking for a little bit of a retrace here in the price action. Okay. See the support level right here at 225. If it happens to retrace, that's going to be a decent level for it to come back to buy in. Okay. So again, we're just keeping an eye on it here. I don't want to buy at the top of the move here, right? Because all it's going to do is I'm going to buy and it's going to the price is going to drop. So I've already missed that big move up, but that's okay. It was through volume weighted average. So we're just keeping an eye on it here, waiting for a little drop in the price. Now my VWAP could be a support level here, right? So I want to buy that little drop there. Okay, and I'm waiting for this move back up. Okay. Okay. Waiting for this drop down. I'm waiting for this drop down to volume weighted average here. Okay, and you don't have to get into every single move here. Okay, let's jump over to DRMA. Let me see, maybe. Let's see what this one continues to do here. Okay, big move up, right? Now we're waiting for a little bit of a drop here, right? Big move up. Let's wait for a little bit of a drop. Okay, this one could be a little stronger, but again, I don't want to buy at the top of this move. You know, we're basing our entries and exits on probability. What's the probability that I decide to get in on this stock? Right? See, I was presenting kind of that doji where the price came back down to right here. See, we can keep buying these little dips here, right? See how it wasn't moving. You can't be afraid, you know, to take a loss. It wasn't moving as fast as I would like to have seen it. So let's buy that little dip there. Okay, let's see if we're gonna move back up here. You're not gonna win every trade, right? And you're entering and exiting based on probability. Okay, got another move up here. But again, we're coming into a former resistance level here at 254, right? So if it breaks, it breaks. I'm not going to be too concerned about it. But what I'm doing is I'm waiting for a little bit of a rejection here. Okay. Maybe a retest. Okay. Let's see again. Let's see if it breaks through 254. Then we'll wait for another rejection here. See what it does. See how much it wants to come down here. Okay. That looked to be a decent rejection. Okay, we'll capture that one. Now let's see what it does here. See if it comes down anymore. Now what I'm looking for is for this to be kind of a support level here at 246. So let's see what that does there at 246. Is it gonna rebound back above 250? It's kind of hesitating, so I wanted to get out of there. What you'll find is, you know, it's got to continue to move when you enter the trade. Don't be afraid to jump right back out. Right, take the loss. You know, the price action should still move in the direction that you anticipated it to move when you get into the trade. You shouldn't be holding on to these things for 5 minutes waiting for the price to move. So this thing's had 2 decent moves up here. The second leg here wasn't as strong as the first one, so I'm looking to this thing to maybe consolidate in a range here and then possibly make another big move up. So we might see something where it bounces off of these 2 levels here for a little bit. So let's just you know, kind of be patient here. And again, we're sitting on our hands. You know, we're not, you know, we're not being anxious, and we're not trying to jump into something too quick here. So what I like about this strategy is that in some cases, you know, when you see how it's hit this price once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and that 254 is holding up as a nice resistance level. Now, if you're sitting here trying to play that breakout all the time and you get in, well, what are you going to do? You're taking losses on this, right? Or you're averaging into the position once it hits the support level and taking that added risk. The benefit of buying off of the support levels, right? And let's just try that one there. Buying off the support levels is that you know, you minimize your exposure here, right? So let's see what this thing is going to do here. Okay. Again, I waited for a little dip below the support level there. Bought at the low, and that's the key, right? We want to buy the stock as close to the low as possible for the continued move up. Okay. Now, obviously, there are certain scenarios where you're not going to want to do that if the price is constantly in a downtrend. Looks like DRMA is moving here, so let's apply this strategy here as well. Right. So again, we're waiting for a dip in the price here. Let's see if we can get a decent pullback here on price. Again, I'm looking at this previous high as a support level at 326. Okay, so let's buy that. Okay, and see how we just played that move up right there? Came down to the support level 326, kind of pushed past it a little bit, but we got that bounce back up, right? So again, I've got some bigger share size here that I'm going in with because I want this P&L to show up a little more prominent in the window. If you know, if I was only, you know, buying 400 shares, you know, that might be a little harder to read. So, but as you can see, just on that one move, just based on the share size, we were able to capture a couple $100 just on that one move. Okay, now, with 4,000 shares, I can tell you, you're probably risking, in this scenario, 5 to 10 cents. So you could be risking anywhere from $100 to $200, or $200 to $400 on the trade. Now again, we're gonna play this. Ooh, see that nice drop there? I missed it. Okay, but I'm gonna come back up and capture that. But that quick drop in price, right? See if it wants to come back down. Maybe I can catch it again here. Okay, 338. There we go. Okay. See how we're catching those quick drops in price, because the sellers are selling off their shares here as they get up, and they're getting scared. They're selling off, right? So we're coming in and we're jumping in on those dips. Okay. Okay, we're continuing to move. The other thing you can watch for is on the tape over here. Okay, you can watch for a big chunk of red cells going through on the tape, right? That's also going to give you another indication of an entry point, right? If you see a big swath of red come through the tape here, right? You know, if you know, you get kind of used to this, you know, there might be you might just I bought too high there. I want to get back out. Yeah, you know, if you get in a bad entry, you have to make a decision to stay in or get out quick, right? Don't hold on to this thing. In that instance, I bought too high, somewhat on accident. I thought it was going to dip back down. But I got filled too high, so you know, I took the $80 hit, but again, I didn't get the entry I was comfortable with. So on this one here, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a retrace here, based on the 5 minute move up. Typically, ooh, I should have got that. Here we go. Let's try that one. Okay, let's see if this thing's going to move back up. No, hesitating too much. Okay. Again, we're not giving these stocks any time at all, right, to flush down on us, right, when we're in position. It's either going to continue to move in the direction that it was moving when we got into it, or we're cutting our loss and we're moving to the next setup. Okay. How long have I been recording here? 25 minutes. Okay. So I'll record for a few more minutes here, but again, this is the basis of the dip. Let's just call it the dip strategy. We're buying the fear on these retraces, right? We're buying the fear on these retraces to a support level. The pop is more immediate when you're in an existing 1 minute candle time frame. In this case, we have a retrace that's went over 2 minutes here. If the stock decides to pop back up, typically I will go in with a smaller position. But if we get a big pop like this, like we see, I will stay in full position because it's a bigger move in price action, right? So in this instance here, as we got this huge move in price action here, I want to be careful here because again, it was in this downtrend, and I don't really want to get caught in a flush if it decides to tank on us here. Okay, so let's see if it breaks over 350. If it breaks over 350 and then retraces from there, then we'll buy back in at the 350 level or a quick dip in price for a continuation above that above this resistance level of 350. Okay, so let's see what it's going to do here. I don't want to buy this breakout here because it's already hit it once, twice, 3 times, right? This is the 4th attempt. So it's really not something I want to try to get into. I will wait for the breakout. I may wait for this dip here. Let's see what it wants to do here. All right, let's buy that dip and see if we can get a move up here. Okay. It's hesitating. Okay. All right. So on a stock like this, see how it's basically consolidating between these two levels here. What we want to see is we want to see another big move to the upside. Okay, before we make a decision to get back into this trade here. So it could come back. It could come down to this volume weighted average line for support. It could continue to bounce off this 336 level here. Let's see what it does here. But again, I'm not going to be doing a lot of buying in this area unless I reduce my share size here, right? So maybe I take this down to 2,000 shares. So I'm mitigating my risk, right? In case this stock continues to trend, to the downside. But again, I'm just waiting. Really, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for another push up. I don't know why this thing keeps doing it. Waiting for another push up here. Right? So again, we're in a 5-minute pullback scenario here. That 336 looks like it might be holding up as a decent support level, or the volume weighted average price there. It's not surprising to me that this $0.50 at 350 and this $0.25 here at 326 are key support and resistance levels because human nature is just that. Could I play that 326 bounce? I could, but we have a history here of a downtrend, so I don't really trust the 326 is going to hold up. And in this case, it did kind of break past it a little bit. So again, we're just going to wait. Let's jump over to CNSP here because, again, this is why I keep my monitors up top here. We have some good movement here, moving up. So let's take a look and see what we got here. It could come back up here and retest 254. All right. Let me bump this back up to 4,000. Okay. If it breaks 254, fantastic. My guess is it's going to reject, and I'm going to buy the dip off of the rejection of 254. Okay, so let's see what we got. Let's see if it comes back down to 246 or a little lower. All right, let's buy. Let's see what that is. See if it's going to pop back up. Okay, got to get out of that. Right? Didn't want to take that. Didn't want to take that flush. Okay. Okay, again, I want to see this 254. Is it going to break out? Is it going to reject? Okay, if it rejects, I want to get in and buy the dip here. If I could bring DRMA up, you'd see this thing dropped and dropped and dropped. So let's see what CNSP is going to do here. Okay, good move up. A little bit of a dip there. Okay, it's continuing to move up. Okay. Again, now that we're on another minute candle here, I'm waiting to see if it's going to hold support here at 254, or if it's going to continue to move up. As it moves up, I'm going to be jumping in on these small dips in price in hopes that we get a retest, right? So let's try that. It's going to retest. Okay. Okay, it's holding steady at 260. A lot of sellers on the ask side, so all right. Now see how it broke there, right? Now we're going to play the dip here, and for the continued move up. Oh, darn it. Okay, again, we're going to play these dips here. Okay, this thing's taking off, but again, I don't want to get trapped in buying at the high here. So I'm just going to be very patient. I'm going to wait for the price to retrace here. Okay, maybe there. Let's see what it wants to do here. Another dip there. Okay, and again, I'm not, this move, it left without us, right? We didn't anticipate the breakout, right? But no big deal. We were still able to jump in there and capture some profits on the dips as sellers were selling off shares because they were jumping ship, taking profit. Again, we don't know how high these stocks are ever going to go, right? We're just making our trades based on probabilities. So in this instance here, I'm going to look for support to kind of come back down. I don't know why it's probably the middle of that move. 273, 275 probably be a good level. So let's see what this thing's going to do here. Okay. All right. Again, it's still not, it's not making any, really sharp moves, up or down here. So again, we're going to wait for it to make a pivot here with a pretty big, pretty big swing. Either we want to see it come down to like 733, 735 and act as support, or we want to see another good push to the upside, right? And buy some of those quick dips in price action. Okay. Yeah, DRMA, just to show you, has continued just to drop, right? So that's why we want to be careful, when we're looking at some of these moves here. Okay. I think I'm going to lower my share size down to 2,000 because here I'm estimating about a 10-cent risk and price here from the support level up to the or support to resistance here is about 10 cents. So I'll make sure I compensate by lowering my share size here. Don't want this thing flushing 20 cents on 4,000 shares. And take out everything that we're currently showing on the board. As of right now, $440 positive on the board. So one bad trade could certainly wipe that out if you're not mitigating your position. Okay, now see how we got that drop there. Now what we want to do is maybe test and buy into that a little bit and see if we can't get another little move up here. Let's just see what it does here. Reason why I want to try this is because it's at that 273 support level, right? So again, this is probability, right? We're not predicting where price action is going to move. We're basing our trades based off what we feel the probability of the price to do, based on the pattern setup and the price action history, right? That's what this chart is telling us. What's the history of the price action? Okay. All right. So if I wanted to draw a trend line here based on support and resistance, I could certainly say, well, look at all these bottoms that it's made, right? So is it going to treat this? Is it going to treat this level as a support level and bounce off of it as it continues to move up? All right. So we'll see. So let's see if we can play some more moves. I don't know why I did that. Let's get out of that one before it flushes. Bought that one at the high. Did not mean to do that. I could have held onto it and hoped that it would have went higher, but I was willing just to take my loss and get out of there before it drops down 10 cents on me. Okay. All right, let's buy that though, and let's see if we can get a good move up here. There we go. Okay, and feel free to watch this back and to watch these, moves on these dip entries here. Again, it's an upward, it's a movement to the long side, but we're waiting for those drops, waiting for those quick drops in price action, and then for the pop back up, right? So we're buying the drop, selling the pop. Okay. All right. So what I think I'll do is I think I will cut the video here. Right now we are currently at an even, if you can see up here at all, an even $500 just on this 30 minutes worth of back testing, right? Obviously, we're trading with some larger size, so you have to adjust your share size accordingly based on your risk. But again, just going back to the strategy here is to not be so anticipatory or anxious to catch the breakout. And like in this case, I would buy right there, right? And I would sell this move up, right? We could have captured, probably another, $100 right there, right? So those are the instances, and those are the setups and the price action movements that we're looking for when we're looking for these dip entry buys, right? A lot of times people will think, well, I thought dip buys were, buying once the candle finishes or closes, and we're buying this dip in pricing here, right? Without, thinking, in a smaller time frame concept. As the price action moves up, you want to get in on these dips in price action that are happening immediately, right? And you're not so much waiting for a 2 or 3 minute candle formation to buy a dip off support, right? You're buying dips off of, current momentum and current price action, okay? All right, so with that being said, I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions, hit me up, and we'll walk through some discussion. All right, see ya.